Welcome to another S&P 500 analysis. Today is August 16, 2021. Thought I'd do a very short video just to recap some of the price action today on the index and look at the ETF for the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100 and kind of give you some idea what I'm looking at and what we could expect in the next couple of days. So stay tuned. Now, for those that have been following me on my Twitter stream, you might have seen this chart that I posted yesterday early in the morning, 1:52 a.m. Pacific time. So that would be around 4 o'clock Eastern time. And we're saying that from the market profile, we're basically looking at this poor high, and this poor high could be telling us that we should expect another new high from the S&P 500. Because when the E-mini S&P 500 come up and tag this high, that will push the S&P 500 to a new high. So today's new high from the S&P 500 should not be a surprise to us if we have seen this chart and also this tweet. And also in addition to that, I said, if we see a pullback, then we're essentially looking at this poor low to get taken out and also these single print and possibly this point of control to get tagged. And essentially, that is what it have taken place today. It came down when the market opened. It came down and took out these single print, the point of control, and then when it come back up, it took out the poor low and come up and also took out the poor high before it pushes up to a new all-time high. So as you can see, here's that poor high that we're talking about, and here's what it got taken out when the S&P or the E-mini S&P 500 future came up to a new high. Now, when it start coming down, you see that these single print got filled. This point of control also got taken out. So you can see that these thing and the poor low here on its way back up, it also cleaned up this poor low. So right now, today, we're essentially looking at another poor structure from the E-mini S&P 500, the ES, but there is a nice clean high. So barring any future Globex all-time high from tonight, this evening, we probably would be looking at a retracement down tomorrow and clean up the single prints. Also, there's a single print here, and then the single print, and possibly get down to this point of control. Okay, there is a poor low also from today's price action. Would it come all the way down and take out the poor low tomorrow? Well, that is a possibility, but that would be a hell of a swing there, right? But of course, anything is possible. We saw it today. Okay, you see this huge swing from 44.32 area all the way back up to 44.76. Now, just quickly go to the index, this S&P 500. Remember, we're talking about this balance area and then come up, and we essentially do a projected move on this 1x of this range and put it up at 44.87. Today, it got up to 44.79, so it's getting there. Would it be actually come up and tag this tomorrow in the next couple of days? Well, we don't know, right? There's a possibility. But if we do expect a pullback tomorrow, then we might see in the coming day coming back into this balance area. Now, remember the balance rule, once it get back, look above and fill, then when it come back to the balance area, we expect it to retrace back down to the other side of the balance area, and that would place it back here under the 43.78. So we're going to keep an eye on that to see will tomorrow continue to push this up, or will Globex trading tonight will give us a clue that by putting up a new all-time high, and pretty much it's kind of give us a clue to expect another all-time high from the S&P 500 in the near future. And here looking at the Nasdaq 100, the Nasdaq 100 did not come up and put in a new all-time high or closing high. Did get a nice bounce off of its low after the opening sell-off. So, but it's unable to get back up to the high, so we'll keep an eye on it. because the Nasdaq is getting a little weak. And I'm going to show you the major weakness from the advanced decline line later on. And here's the Russell 2000. Remember, we're saying that we need to see would it be able to hold this trend line and come up and take out the 2297, the 2297 level. Right now, it's still trying to hold this 2195. So we'll see would it be able to hold this or would it come back down. Remember, there is this balance through. Right now, it's basically inside this balance area. So if it reverses back down and take out the 2195 or break below that, then we likely see it to come back down to this balance area at the lower end, somewhere around 2132 area. Here, the Dow Jones Transportation is trying to reclaim that 15,000 and getting close. We're essentially looking to see would it be able to come up, take out this pivot, and then come back up into this area here, this support term resistance. So continue to watch the transportation. Would it come back up and reclaim that 15,000 level? And here's the Dow Jones Industrial. The Dow Jones Industrial also put in a new closing high and a new all-time high. And again, we're basically projecting the next target by doing a range extension, and the target level is 36,438. So we'll watch it to see would it pull back below this 35,150. If it dip below this 35,150, essentially coming back in to this balance area, then once again, we're watching that balance rule to play out. Now let's look at the SPY, the ETF for the S&P 500. Remember, we have this balance area here that we're looking at, right? And we essentially project the 1X range here extension, and you can see today's high is getting near this. It got up close to this 447.21. The high is 447.11, so it's basically 0.1 or 10 cents away from this projection. Of course, that is also subjective to where I place this point. So for all internal purpose, we're essentially hit that extension, and we'll see would it be able to continue to move up. Then we're essentially looking for a 2x of that extension. So right now, we're essentially looking at the possibility of its pullback. If it's going to pull back, we're looking at this high volume no area for potential pullback between 445 area here. And if it doesn't hold, then we'll also be looking at this this balance area here, this high volume area, this balance area. Okay, so if see would it be able to find some support here and bounce back out. Okay, somewhere down at this 443.75 area. And for the QQQ, the ETF for the Nasdaq 100, we're essentially looking at this this area here. This seems like a we've got sellers here that is or lack of buyer. You can look at this as a supply zone, right? So you can see that when it came back up in here, we found the imbalance of supply once again, sold off, and then when it come back up again over here, when it got up to this supply area. So essentially, we're still seeing some overhead supply up here. Now, right now, it's coming back up near this area. So if tomorrow it push up again, we'd be watching to see would it get sold off again, or would it just come back down right now and get back in to retest this 364 area. And that's basically this balance area, this value area, composite value area. And this 364 is the value area below. Okay, so we'll see what it come down and get a bounce, and if quick, then we essentially will be looking at level down here in this area, because that's basically we are looking at this one huge balance area. Now, just take a glimpse at this chart here. You can see all the breadth are negative today. Okay? The up-down volume ratio, up-down volume, advanced decline, cumulative ticks, they're all negative, while the S&P 500 put in a new high and closed at a new high. And the Nasdaq 100 closed positive with a negative breadth here. Now, just quickly run down the internal and also the sentiment. You can see today the S&P 500 closed up 11 point or 0.26%. The VIX is sitting at 16.12, and the put call ratio is sitting at 0.6. Now, looking at the internals, here is the up down volume ratio minus 2.8, 2.8 times more down volume than up volume, with the S&P 500 making a new high, and the decliner outnumbered the advancer by 1,033. And for the new high, new low for the New York Stock Exchange, the new 52-week high outnumbered the new 52-week low by 59. There were 148 new 52-week high versus 89 new 52-week low. So it is spiking up a little bit on the 52-week new low. And here the cumulative AD line continued to retreat or fall, going to a decline, while the S&P 500 continue to move up to a newer high. So that's a negative divergence, continue to build. And here's the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq 100 closed up 4 points or 0.03%, so barely eking out a gain here. And the up-down volume ratio is minus 1.9, so it's almost 2 times more down volume than up volume. And the decliner outnumbered the advancer by 1,689. And here's a little bit of ugliness. The new high, new low in the Nasdaq market. The new low outnumbered the new high by a margin of 170. And look at here, it's only 112 new 52-week high versus 282 new 52-week low. So it's more than 2x of the 52-week high. And you can see that it is spiking up now. And if the new high, new low wasn't ugly enough yet, we are seeing more ugliness in this cumulative AD line in Nasdaq market. See how the Nasdaq 100 is holding up near the new high territory. And you see the cumulative AD line have broken below this pivot low now. So essentially have broken the low that was made on this particular low when the Nasdaq 100 was closed at 14,549 on July 19. So continue to get worse on the negative divergence between the advanced decline line and the Nasdaq 100 index. So there you have it, just a quick review of what transpired today. Make sure to smash that thumbs up and give it a like and help me promote and share this video. Thank you for watching and stay safe.